With the musical remake of The Color Purple hitting theaters this Christmas Day, I was excited to go back to revisit the original film from 1985. I even wore a purple shirt for this review. So let's get into it. Now, The Color Purple, it is based on the beloved book by Alice Walker, and it chronicles the life of Celie, who from childhood up until her adult life went through many years of abuse, both sexually and physically. She had children by the man who she thought was her father, and then gets sold off to Mr., who we later find out is named Albert. After she reunites with her sister Nettie, they soon get separated once again, and Celia goes through many more years of sexual and physical abuse from Mr. But as she gets older, she gains the strength to finally stand up for herself, and through that courage, she is able to achieve many great things and is reunited with not only her sister, but her kids in the end. Now, to give you context as to where I stand with this movie prior to rewatching, it is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it is my second favorite Spielberg movie of all time because this movie is made by Spielberg. My first favorite film of his being Jurassic Park, but The Color Purple is a second. And the reason this film is my second favorite Spielberg film of all time is because this film, at least to me, is a testament as to why Spielberg is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. And I will explain that in a bit. But for right now, how do I feel watching this movie with adult eyes? I mean, I gotta tell you, at first I was a little worried because the movie did admittedly start out on a dark note. But then as the movie went along, I was smiling and laughing and having a good time and just feeling relief for the Celie character after everything she went through. And I'm gonna get into it in a bit. But overall, there's a lot of things in this movie that I never really put together when I was a child or a teenager when I saw this movie, but watching with adult eyes, it's even better. Now, like I said, this film was made by Steven Spielberg, and his direction in this movie is on full display. I noticed all the Spielberg isms within this film, from his camera work to even some of the dialogue. And I gotta say, it was a pretty ballsy move for Spielberg to take on a story that, by all accounts, should be made by a person of color. But Spielberg, he went in, he took the material, he understood the material, and I guess he was able to relay it to his own experiences of him being a Jewish man. And the material is admittedly dark, but that's the beauty about Spielberg, because little fun fact about Spielberg, it was James Cameron who was supposed to direct Jurassic Park, but then it was later given to Spielberg because of how Spielberg was able to make movies that pleases everybody. Because if James Cameron had made Jurassic Park, it would have been a lot darker and gruesome film. And that's how I feel with Spielberg. He was able to take what is essentially a dark story and able to make it accessible for everybody so that you leave the film not leaving down or depressed or whatever, even though the story itself doesn't end on a depressing note. Though, full disclosure, I have never read the original book, so however I feel about the story, I'm just going off of what the movie presented to me. But to me, this movie is a testament to why Spielberg is a great filmmaker, is because he's able to make movies within every genre. And in this case, he's able to make a black period piece and still make it work. All right, now let's get to the characters, such as Whoopi Goldberg, who plays Celie. And I just love this character's progression throughout this movie. She's all timid and shy and unsure of herself, but then once she meets people like Shug Avery and Sophia, she gains confidence and is able to be a light for Sophia after she is released from jail. And I tell you, that dinner scene at the climax of the movie where Celie finally stands up to herself to Mr., she tells him off, cusses him out, and just that whole scene, that is just pure cinematic brilliance right here. I like me a good dinner scene. And she does achieve all her dreams and all her goals by the end of the movie, as we all know. Danny Glover plays Mr., who we later find out is named Albert. But Albert, he is a piece of shit. But of course, the movie, I'm not saying the movie is justifying all the abuse that he gives Celie, but it does humanize him just a little bit by showing that his father is just as horrible as, if not more horrible than Mr. is. And really the only problem I have with Albert is that he does have a redemption arc in the end, but it just personally for me, it just doesn't sit well when a movie tries to humanize someone who is clearly an abusive person, but the movie did make it work though. Shug Avery, played by Margaret Avery, is the old mistress of Albert, but she befriends Celie. They become good friends and even lovers, as from what I heard the book implies. But she is like that second light for Celie to finally come out and stand up for herself and give her confidence. The scene where the two of them kiss, it was one of the few moments of genuine love that Celie has ever received, and it's a very sweet scene. Chuck even has her own little arc going on where she's estranged from her father, and at the end, they finally come back together. Then you got Oprah Winfrey, who plays Sophia in Oprah's breakout role. "You told Harpo to beat me." Yeah, we all know that line. But Sophia, she is married to Harpo, who is Albert's son. Sophia is the more standoffish and aggressive one in the movie. And she is pretty much, like I said, she's that first light that Celie comes across and gives her the strength and confidence to stand up to herself by the end. And so that even when Sophia, she's in a mental rut herself after she is taken out of prison, Celie comes in and basically just calls her like, I like that scene where they see each other at the store and Celie, she points at Sophia and like, "Hey, chin up. Keep your head up." And that's the thing about this movie. It has so many iconic lines and moments within this movie that I can't just automatically try to imitate or show here, but here's a super clip of every iconic line from this movie and some of the best moments in this. Like I already mentioned, the dinner scene. That is probably my favorite moment from this movie, and of course the ending. But as far as iconic lines,
"You told Harpo to beat me."
"You better not never tell nobody but God."
"Nothing but death could keep me from it."
"You sure is ugly."
Just the way you like 'em. Sun inside.
Trying to kill me?
No, look out now. Baby, don't be that way.
Sister, you've been on my mind. Oh, sister.
All my life I had to fight. I had to fight my daddy. I had to fight my uncles. I had to fight my brothers.
You can't talk to my boy that way.
Your boy? Seemed like if he hadn't been your boy, he might have made somebody a halfway decent man. Nitty and my kids, they coming home soon. And when we all get together, we gonna sit around and whoop your ass.
My God, the dead has arisen.
Girl, child ain't safe in the family men's. But I ain't never thought I had to fight in my own house. Sat in that jail down there about done rot to death.
Did I ever ask you for anything? Did I ever ask you for anything? I never asked you for nothing, not even your sorry ass hand in marriage. Nothing. I never asked you for nothing.
Boy, if you gonna let this little nappy-head gal sit here and cuss you out like that, you sitting at the head of your own dinner table and you acting like a waiter.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.
Look at you. You're black, you're poor, you're ugly, you're a woman, you're nothing at all.
Till you do right by me, everything you even think about gonna fail. Everything you've done to me, already done to you.
I'm poor, black. I may even be ugly. But dear God, I'm here.
See, Daddy, sinners have soul too.
I loves Harpo. God knows I do. But I kill him dead before I let him beat me.
Yes, that's what killing you means.
watching with adult eyes, The Color Purple is still one of my favorite films of all time, let alone one of my favorite black films of all time, and still my second favorite Spielberg film of all time. The Color Purple easily gets the hands up emoji because it is a masterpiece. And until next time, until you do right by me, everything you even think about gon' crumble.